Hey everyone, Dan here. We are about 4:30 on Monday, March 15th. So we still have a little bit of market activity happening after hours, but I wanted to jump in and update some of the stocks that we've been watching for the last few weeks. As always, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps a lot. And feel free to use the comments below as well. I think asking questions or providing your own insights or thoughts definitely helps everyone who comes here after you. So let's jump right into CCIV, our beloved CCIV, as it has been the last week or so at least. So that's when it sort of entered this channel and was following it. It has since dropped out of the channel a bit, but sort of differently from how the channel exit on GameStop, which we'll get to later, has affected that stock. This channel exit has actually held up quite well because it is now bouncing off of the support zones that we had that are outside of the channel. And so to me, this actually looks very fine. I'm not worried about it doing what's pretty common when something exits the channel of this sort of sideways consolidation, pretty much in line with where it exited, and then a drop. So I'm feeling good about this. As you see, it's trying to push back into the channel again. It's essentially turned this bottom line of the channel into resistance, but that's okay. I don't fear that it's going to sort of tap that too many times and then drop, at least not from what I'm seeing right now. It's holding these support levels really well and turning them from resistance into support pretty quickly. So again, none of these targets that are in the yellow and the blue are actually its main point of resistance, even when it gets to them. The bottom line of the channel is, and those are instead quickly acting as support, which is actually pretty great to see. And so I feel really great about our prospects for 30 in the coming days. To extend upward, since that's where I hope we're going, I've drawn in these purple price targets of where I think we could head to next in sort of the bullish scenario anyway. Basically we have a friction zone or a sticky point every dollar to kick things off: 30, 31, 32, and 33. Some slight variations in there, but you can see those numbers there. I think those will be areas where it'll get a little bit stuck at a sort of need to turn resistance into support in each of those areas to continue its upward momentum. Just in terms of reliability and predictability, the best thing would be if it did get back into this channel and then started respecting the channel again, because that gives us a pretty clear indication of where the stock is going while it respects the channel, and also gives us really good buy and sell opportunities, buying toward the bottom of the channel, selling toward the top of the channel. So that's where I'm seeing CCIV going at the moment. All good signs to me. And it's now developed a nice cushion of support underneath. So if it did drop again, it would fall through these levels and you'd sort of have some indication that there might be a bigger drop that's happening, and you might want to sort of use that information to decide what you want to do at that moment. But cushions of support are really helpful. NNDM. Also, I drew in this channel here, which is where I believe we are. I had sent out this bearish price zone, sort of moderate or expected price zone, and then this bullish green price zone on last night's video. And so right now you see it's in this sort of moderate or expected price zone. Obviously that subsumes most of the channel in its immediate future. So as long as NNDM can hold sort of this mid-range of the channel, we'll stay in this blue box and stay in the channel as well, which would be good signs for anyone with a long position. And I still think that these zones hold it. I would also reiterate what I said last night, which is this 1249 is essentially becoming NNDM's version of 911, which was AMC's most important price at that time. So, hopefully it can get there, maybe in the next week or so, and secure that as new support. If so, it would be looking very, very good. But basically what I'm looking for in NNDM at this point, obviously hold this 1093 support level and then I'd be happy to sort of like buy anything that comes in toward the bottom of this channel, since it has hit it several times already and bounced off. And yeah, so I'll be looking for that because I don't currently have a position on NNDM, and but this looks to me like a good buying opportunity could be presenting itself soon. AMC had a really great day, so congrats to all those who are holding AMC or caught this run here. From the video, again, that I put out last night, I had this as my bearish price zone, and this is my sort of like moderate price zone, and this as my very bullish price zone for this week. And as you see, we've settled in there already, which is great. That doesn't mean that it can't come back down, obviously. You know, we had this big spread from 1191 to 1366, and we saw it do exactly what we expected it to do. Given that there was no friction points in between those zones, it just ran right up to 1366 and then got caught in that zone. And it's still fighting that zone after hours. So just remember that what that also means is if 1366 loses support and becomes resistance, that it will then likely push it down just as quickly. It may not drop all the way down to 1191. It may drop down a bit and then sort of like move sideways, but just know that initial push off of it when it does develop as resistance will likely be as quick as the run-up was today. I did throw some higher price targets in here that we could look for in the coming days or weeks if AMC continues its bullish run. 1605, 1698, and 1988. I don't see a bunch of friction points in between those zones, so this could be the start of an excellent run from 14, say, all the way up to 16, and then we could have some smooth sailing through the $16 range itself, establish at 17, and then be running up pretty quickly close to 20. So that would be cool for the bulls. All right. GameStop has had the opposite day of AMC, essentially. It has ended up in our bullish price zone, in our bearish price zone, the red one. So it came in at our moderate price target at open and quickly fell down, and it tried to get some support here, as you see, at this level that we had drawn in at 250, 95, wasn't able to. Now it lost its support at 224.80, and that's acting as resistance, so we'll see what happens there. This does have a huge cushion of support underneath, though, so just watch for it to drop through the levels and how it responds to each of these support levels to sort of decide what you want to do with this one. As you know, GME has a lot of potential volatility day to day, so there is still the strong possibility that this gets up into our green zone this week. That wouldn't shock me. 420 down to 370 on the low end. You know, that's just the way that this stock is. That's still within range. I'm still long GameStop. I didn't make any change in my positions today, even with this movement here, because again, we expected that this, if things turn down, that this is where the price would be going, and that's where it went. And it's holding it. So the first way to reverse the trend is to hold it. So shoot down, hold it, and then build and re-push. So this was sort of like the opposite of what happened with CCIV that I was talking about earlier, just a mini lesson in channels. GameStop was holding this channel for a long time as well, and then it popped out, and at that time when it started moving sideways, that's often an indication that it's just going to lose its buying power and sell off, whereas with CCIV, you saw it fall out, but then it was like, oh, let me get back in there, let me get back in there, let me get back in there. So just a very different reaction to falling out of its channel versus what we've seen with GameStop. But just because it fell out of its channel and now has had a pretty steep down day, I don't think that that means that we're necessarily going to continue down because there are all of these support levels. So I'm more than happy to wait and see what it does in all those yellow supports and probably even in the blues and make decisions as we get there. So that's it for this video, everyone. I hope you all had a great start to your trading week, and I will see you all in the next video.